Ankita first because Ankita আমাকে মিস্টার দালালের সঙ্গে ইন্ট্রোডিউস করিয়ে দিয়েছিল. If she was not there, তো আমি আজ এখানে আপনাদের সামনে প্রেজেন্ট হতে পারতাম না. আর থ্যাঙ্কস টু মিস্টার দালাল যিনি আমাকে মিসেস জ্যানের সঙ্গে ইন্ট্রোডিউস করিয়েছে, অ্যান্ড আই এম হিয়ার. আর আই থিঙ্ক ইটস অ্যান অপরচুনিটি ফর মি. মানে কী বলবো, ছোটোবেলায় পড়েছি যে আমরা ইগলুতে থাকি, আমরা স্লেজ গাড়িতে চড়ি, 6 মাস দিন 6 মাস রাতের একটা দেশ, সেখানে আমি যাচ্ছি. আই এম ওভারওয়েলমড. থ্যাংক ইউ.
It was from the beginning only. There was another girl whose name was Ankita only, Ankita Bajpayee, I guess. So she was there. These two ladies were there, and our concept was to promote them all India wise, and Janesh সাথে আর যতজন থাকবে তাদের সবাইকে প্রমোট করা. Later on, suddenly sir one day called me and said ki Ankita somehow cannot made it. So I was like ki so there has to be someone else also, because he wanted ki there should be two people. মাধবীলতাকে আমরা মোটামুটি হোয়াট আই নো ইজ তিলোত্তমা থেকে, আর এর থেকে বেশি তারপরে সুপার মডেল এতটাই জানতাম. আমি অভিষেক বাসু ভেদাট্রনিক্সের সঙ্গে একখানা মিউজিক্যাল লঞ্চ করছিলাম, মিউজিক্যাল শর্ট ফিল্ম করছি. তো ডিউরিং দ্যাট টাইমে অভিষেক বাসু, তেজস দা সবার সাথে আমার একটা রিলেশনশিপ ভালো তৈরি হয়ে যায়. তো তেজস দার সঙ্গে একদিন অনার্স ওর কথা হচ্ছিল, তো বলছিল আমাকে যে তুমি তো মাধবীলতাকে ফোন করতে পারো, ও তো এইসব ট্রেকিং ফেকিং সব করে, কি ওপরে ওঠে টোঠে কি ব্যাপারটা আমি ঠিক জানি না, কিন্তু তুমি ফোন করতে পারো. তো আমার তো সাডেনলি সামথিং র্যাং মি অ্যান্ড আই সেড কি ওকে লেট আই গিভ হার আ কল. তো আই কল্ড হার, শি সেড কি ইয়েস আই উইল ডেফিনেটলি বি. তো মানে আই আস্ক হার কি ক্যান ইউ সেন্ড মি ইয়োর প্রোফাইল. তো শি সেড কি তুমি ফেসবুকে দেখে নাও, পেয়ে যাবে. তো ফেসবুকে দেখার পর আই আন্ডারস্টুড দ্যাট শি ইজ সামওয়ান হ্যাজ সো মাচ অফ এক্সপিরিয়েন্সেস, শি ইজ বিন ইন হিমালয়াস অ্যান্ড অল. তো I told Rajiv sir, hey sir, these and these, and then there are calls and everything, and now today she is going.
I must admit, I felt pretty proud of myself. 6 people only have done what we've done, and 12 people have walked on the moon. And the only time you can really go to the South Pole is in their summer. And it's a very short summer. So it's between December.
Hello, Plaster hit us.
Can you? Oh. It's their summer is between December and the end of January, so that is when we're going. The actual start date hasn't been ascertained yet because we have to discuss this with the people at the South Pole. And it should take, we will start off by flying to Punta Serenas in South America, which is somewhere I haven't been to, so that's really nice. And then the company that takes people over to the Antarctic, ALE, will collect us and take us to a special camp called Union Glacier. And this is a camp where people that want to climb Mount Erebus, who want to trek in Antarctica, all have to go to. And when we go there, we'll spend a little time just getting a little bit orientated to the cold before a twin otter will take us where we want to go. And there's several other reasons which I didn't mention before. Obviously, I fell in love with the Arctic. Well, I don't know if I fell in love with it. I became attracted to the Arctic. Perhaps when I went to the magnetic pole, it was like a magnet. And because I had done the 2 poles, I then turned to look at the South Pole and read about all the people 100 years ago, Shackleton and Scott. And when I was reading all the books, a name came up called Tom Crean, who had been on more expeditions than Shackleton or Scott. But the reason we hadn't heard about him, I'm embarrassed to say, is he wasn't an officer. And his name kept coming up, and I became fascinated by him. And when I read Captain Scott's diary, when I told Tom, he took 8 people to a point in Antarctica. He chose 5 to go on to what we now know was their deaths, and 3 had to go back. And in those 3, this Tom Crean got the Albert Medal for saving the other 2's lives and getting them back. And in Scott's diary he said, when I told Tom he wasn't going, he wept. And I felt so much for this beautiful man who was denied his prize, that I felt I wanted to complete his journey. So that was probably the first thing that made me feel, I'm going to the South Pole because I've done the 2 Norths. I want to complete this wonderful, wonderful unsung hero's journey. And as well as my 2 beautiful Indian ladies, I went to Ireland last year and met this man's granddaughter, Aileen Crean. And I thought, my gosh, I'd love her in my team. But I was scared to ask her in case she thought I was using her name to my advantage. Well, we became friends, and a few months later she rang me up and said, I want to be part of your team. So I'm finishing this man's beautiful journey with his granddaughter, with these two lovely ladies, another lady who had breast cancer and thought her life was over, and then came in touch with me and said, I've got to do it. I've always wanted to. What am I waiting for? And she is 60. So we have such a wonderful, diverse team, and I have finishing this man's wonderful journey, making my dream come true of finishing the polls, because children used to say to me, which is the most beautiful? Which is the most difficult, north or south? Well, now I'll be able to go and say, let me tell you, because I know, and that's something I wanted to do. And then the green issue, I think we're all aware here now how terrible this is, and this is the most, at the moment, unspoilt place on our planet.